Thanks very much, guys. Now, earlier this week it was announced that the man given the job of shaping James DeGale from Olympic champion into a world champion would be Jim McDonnell, and he joins us in the studio now. Jim, how are you doing? Thanks very much for coming in early days, but from what you've seen, can he do it?
Yeah, I'd just like to say, first of all, that with James, please pardon the pun, I think he could be the gale force wind to blow through British boxing. I mean that sincerely.
Will he be able to... One thing I'm worried about of all these young fighters, I was worried about it with Khan, I'm worried about of all these young fighters, is that naturally they want to run before they can walk, Jim. They've just come from world championships, European championships, world championships, where they've won medals or lost to the actual medalists. Do you think it's slightly harder with this young batch, this new batch of guys, holding them back and letting them just learn the ropes as a pro? Do you think it's harder?
It is, yeah, I would agree with your statement there, Stephen, and James ain't no different, you know.
Yeah.
He's a guy who's just come back with Olympic gold medal. He wants to become, as he's already stated, clearly he wants to become the first British Olympic gold medalist to become a world champion.
Yeah, of course.
So, yeah, he can't wait to get rolling on the 28th of February.
Because, you know, when you turned pro, Jim, you know, fantastic amateur career, you turned pro, you knew what you were going to be doing for the first 10, 15 fights, you know, solid guys, nothing spectacular, learning your trade not necessarily in great big venues, even though, you know, you were faced even when you turn pro. It's going to be different for James, different, I know you can't talk about the other two specifically, but different for BJ Saunders and different for Frankie Gavin. They're sort of going to be under pressure. They're also going to want to march on, to use an expression.
Yeah, I think, you know, it's a fantastic way of putting it. I think with James, he's obviously come back, he's all of a sudden he's a part of the British institution, he's become an Olympic gold medalist. And I stated at the press conference that me and James spoke about, he actually wants to be the first Olympic gold medalist to actually also be a professional world champion.
Yeah, it makes sense to do it.
So I think as long as he does things right, listens to his guidance, I'm sure that it will come at the right pace and achieve the end result.
Now, so many trainers, Jim, when they've taken control of top amateurs, and I mean top amateurs, they roll out, and I'm not going to name any of the British guys, I don't want to embarrass them, or any of the American guys, I don't want to embarrass them. But the first thing they say is, oh, yeah, I had to stop everything he'd done, he'd been doing everything wrong, even if he won a Commonwealth Games or an Olympic bronze medal or a World Championship bronze medal, I had to stop everything and I had to do it all, I had to build it all again. You haven't got, tell me you haven't got an approach like that, son.
No, not really, because look, if you've got like a two-storey house, and obviously you want to make it a three-storey house because you want to add to it, then I wouldn't knock the house down and then, you know, build it again. What I'd do, I'd just add stories on top of it. With James DeGale, you've got a guy who's an Olympic gold medalist. He's come back from a fantastic, absolutely unbelievable. The draw he had was amazing.
No, he shouldn't have even been there.
He's knocked everyone here, there and everywhere. And now it's just a matter of putting other stories on top, not changing nothing, but just adding to him.
Yeah, and that's what I was hoping you'd say, because it always used to annoy me that sometimes when I'd see really good amateurs go with our top trainers, and even guys I like and respect, and they'd say, oh no, I had to start again, his feet were terrible, his balance was wrong, he couldn't punch correctly, and I'd say, hold on a minute, he's beaten Cubans and East Germans or Russians or the best in the world. I mean, James has been at that top level. He's probably had 50 or 60 contests, as they're called, in the last 4 years or so at that level.
Yeah, I mean, I remember turning professional and thinking, after the first couple of fights, it was like easier than being amateur, because the guys you was competing against, not being disrespectful to them, but they weren't at the level of the guys you'd been boxing at top level as an amateur. And I was an open class boxer from when I was 17 in the ABA finals and everything. So it was like a breath of fresh air to get in the ring. The new thing for James is adapting to thinking like a pro and
pacing,
taking
and
everything in and getting used to boxing without a vest. All them little things, that are just little things that plague the back of your mind until you've done it once, and then the next fight's just another fight then.
Now, what about James? When Audley first turned pro, there were stories that he either had 3 mobile phones going in the gym on the first day, or 4 with someone else holding a 5th. I mean, you know, what's your, you know, you're quite a strict, you know, you're quite a disciplinarian, Jim, in many ways, mate. I mean, you run marathons for fun, one-legged, backwards, carrying a live horse on his head, patting it at the same time. Trust me, he's that kind of athlete.
Sometimes in a sack as well.
Yeah, sometimes, exactly. I mean, trust me, you know, at night time, in the rain, in the snow. But no, quite seriously, Jim's very serious on that. Have you had to lay the law down a little bit with James, or is he a guy that listens?
No, he's great. You know, he trains at a place called LA, not quite Los Angeles. It's called the Latin Academy. And you know, he trains, and the guys down there have been absolutely fantastic. They shut the gym. The gym's all shut off, all phones are off, and we just go to work. And it couldn't be more professional, to be honest with you. And he's been absolutely first class. You know, he's punctual, he's on time, he's on the phone, we touch base all the time. And we've already built a great relationship in the short period of time we've been together.
What about, I know we're running out of time, what about sort of going overseas? Might he go and do some work in Philadelphia? Because Ron Bodie does a lot of work with him, he's got great, you know, great associations in Philadelphia.
Yeah, I've always been a keen fan of going across the pond. You know, I've done it with Danny Williams and that, and gone to Gleason's in New York. And I think with James, that would be part of the learning curve to go and work with the top fighters and learn his trade, as he's been doing since he's turned professional, and he's been a fantastic student.
Jimmy, listen, thanks, mate. Murray?
Before we let you go, Jim, we've been running a poll all day, Hatton, Pacquiao. Which do you think, that it should be split 50-50? I'm sure you know the story. Where do you stand on it?
Yeah, you know, I'm a big Ricky Hatton fan, and I think I went to Vegas and watched his contest against Floyd Mayweather. It was like going to watch Arsenal in a football match.
It was, man.
The following he's got is amazing. And Ricky Hatton brings so much to the table. He's just loved by everyone. He's a great part of British boxing, and I'm on Ricky Hatton's side 100%, and I think a 50-50 is a fantastic deal.
Great stuff. All right, Jim, thanks. We asked you which boxer is the bigger draw. That was the poll today. Let's get you the result. Ricky Hatton or Manny Pacquiao. Since we came on air, incidentally, it's gone down every time we've looked. It's now down to 72. Our Filipino friends have been getting involved. Either that or it's because it's the boxing fans that have been getting involved and they perhaps know a little bit more than the general public. I don't know, Bunsey, what do you think?
Yeah, well, it is. The boxing fans are tuning into the show. The guys that were on earlier on, the guys that are casually watching it who know Ricky Hatton. So the guys that listen to the show, the loyal following we've got, they go, well, actually, you know, Pacquiao's the pound-for-pound guy, he's this, he's that. Sure he's that, but Ricky brings this stuff. Make it 50-50. It's not like Ricky's asking for more. He's not asking for 60-40. He's not even asking for 51-49. He's asking for 50. Give Ricky that. But I told you, Bob Arum, I know we're running out of time, Bob Arum said the fight's going to happen. So book your seats if you can. It's going to happen May 2nd. And I'm not going to mention Sky pay-per-view anymore.
Round one, Ricky Hatton is the other big story.